Hey everyone, and welcome today to our shop talk. We are going to be doing a community focus today on Steiner Ranch, and I have Brandy Harrison and Colton Turnquist, two of our luxury real estate advisors here with Engel and Volkers, and we're going to talk about what makes Steiner Ranch so great. And one of the things that Brandy kind of brings to the table is you're one of our Steiner Ranch experts, and you just happen to kind of live and have raised your kids in that community. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes Steiner Ranch so great? I know I can, say some highlights, of course, the proximity of where it's at, the location right off 2222, and, you get to 620, and you have lots of fantastic elements about the community. So I'd love for you to expand on that.
Well, Steiner Ranch is really special. I mean, I've lived there for about 13 years. It was founded or developed back in the 1980s. And it was bought from the Steiners, and we have the Steiner Ranch Steakhouse, which everyone loves to go to and watch the views, and the brunch is amazing. So, but it's such a great, just one of those communities that's just established. It's been, and there's all kinds of different communities and things like that. We have 3 pools, we have 3 major parks, some of the best trails I've ever ran, and it's hiking and biking. So, and then of course,
the definition of live, work, play.
It's so much fun. I mean, you can pretty much, it's the best of both worlds. And we're situated right between Lake Travis and Lake Austin. So you got to love water, because water is just all around us. But yeah, it's just a great community.
Well, and I feel like throughout Steiner Ranch, you have a lot of different, you already mentioned the different communities, but you have the different price points, which make it, nice, because you can create, kind of a diverse community. You can get families into these fantastic school districts, right? Because Steiner Ranch, how many elementary schools do they have that Steiner Ranch feeds into?
There are 3.
There are 3. So, and then they go into one middle school. Right? Canyon Ridge. And then they filter into Vandergrift High School, which has just exploded in just the national recognition. The sports programs have really exploded. It really has become a high school that's been put on the map.
Definitely.
But I would say, you get the class sizes in Steiner Ranch. My daughter was in kindergarten there. I think her class size was 17. And just to put that in perspective, I think maybe Regents, some of your private schools, I think their class sizes are 13.
Right.
So you go from 13 to a 17 size class size, and then where my daughter is now, it's 22.
Right.
So you really do get a very, very great education with kind of having your own schools that filter into that community. But not just that, you have nail salons, you have restaurants, you have a grocery store, you have workout facilities. And then, like you said, you have access to Lake Austin, which, if I'm correct, you have to live in the community of Steiner Ranch to be able to put your boat into Lake Austin, correct?
Now, the parking down there, yes, is owned by Steiner Ranch, but we do have 2 places where you can actually launch a boat. So you have Quinlan, and then you also have the private dock.
Okay.
But that private dock is fantastic. You go down there, it's all gated, fenced in, grassy, and then you can also rent the facilities, pull your boat up, have a picnic. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And you also have the University of Texas Golf Club there, which, Colton, you went to the University of Texas, you played golf. What do you think of that community situated in Steiner Ranch?
It's a great golf course. It was really well designed. They have a really great membership there. They take great care of it. Practice facilities are fantastic. It's just a really good club, and all the houses around there, beautiful, really nice neighborhoods.
Right. Well, and it's guard gated, but it's also nice if people really want to have that golf course community feel. It really is such a great option. They've got a grill, they've got, kind of their own little thing behind those gated parts. But why don't we talk a little bit about, like you said, it's established, right? And when you have an established community, there's not a lot of opportunities for you to build your own property. A lot of the houses there were built in, 2005. They're great homes, right? But you don't really get a ton of really, really large lot sizes. You do get homes with some fantastic views. But tell me a little bit about, I know it's probably as you get further down Quinlan and Steiner Ranch, what opportunities are left to buy a lot and build your house?
Well, the average lot down there is at least 300,000. I mean, it is not cheap for as far as Austin goes.
Right.
You can buy a home in Steiner at 685, maybe a little bit lower, but then everything goes up to about 5 million, probably a little bit more whenever it comes to some of the lakefront properties.
Right.
But as far as lots go, yeah, we're definitely, most of them are bought. They are private. There is not any kind of development actually really going on anymore because all of those lots are private listings that people have purchased.
Right, right. And those lots are a little larger, right? With a little larger acreage, which of course segues us into what Colton has coming available in Steiner. So why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of these last remaining opportunities to build a home in Steiner Ranch, and let's add on top of that to potentially buy a lot that is on Lake Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a community called the Ranch at Water's Edge, 15 lots. It's right across from Caslano. So it's just down at the end of Steiner Ranch, really close to the boat docks, which is nice. It's going to be ranging from about 1.5 acres to just under 5. Most of them are going to be up top with no lake waterfront. We have one that's going to be about 4 and 3/4 acres, 200 feet of waterfront.
Which is very rare, if you don't know, but it's very rare to get that much water frontage.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that we have a bunch of wetlands, kind of like private areas that are kind of running along the side of the property. So you're going to have like your own little kind of green space behind you and to the side of your property. So you got about 60 extra feet of like privacy.
And that's owned by the city, of course, right?
It's owned by the city, but it's going to feel really private. You're not going to be up against anyone else. Because you get to some of those lots in Caslano, and it's just like
Back to back.
no trees. You're going straight down, and it's just side by side, and you see all the fences. It doesn't feel super private.
Yeah.
This one's going to be extremely private. We have the one next to it under contract for, I can't really disclose how much, but it's going to be beautiful. And if anyone knows that part of the lake, it has beautiful rolling hills. Kind of your house is going to sit up on a ridge. It's going to go down to the lake. Tons of beautiful trees.
Right. And it's really private, right? There's no one across from you.
No, there's no one across there. So across the lake is lakeland, city owned land. So it's like protected. Nothing's going to be there. And it's also a big bluff.
Right.
So
we can never say never, but the topography of it is...
The topography does not allow
for
very... if it was going to be developed, the houses would be way up on top of the bluffs. You wouldn't be able to see
it wouldn't
them.
even be an issue for you.
Yeah.
And then why don't you tell people how big are the lot sizes going to be for the ones that are not going to be waterfront?
So the one on the waterfront, like I said, is 4 3/4. The ones up top are going to be anywhere from 1.5 to like 3.5.
Yes.
The one close to Quinlan is like 3.5, or maybe it's just under 4. But most of them are between 1.5 and 2 acres.
Right.
Yeah. And again, those all are going to be backing up to kind of wetlands, green space. So again, huge buffer zone there. It's going to feel very private.
Yeah. Well, and if anybody knows Steiner Ranch, you get more traffic probably, towards the front, right? And in the middle. So when you start to get down to where these lots are going to be, yes, you're kind of towards the bottom of Quinlan, but it does feel private. And the ranch at Water's Edge, it's going to be gated, right?
It's going to be gated, yep.
It's kind of just tucked away. And like Colton mentioned, that part of the lake is so quiet.
Yeah.
So quiet,
it's nice. It's great. If you have any people who are Lake Austin enthusiasts, like that is the place you want to be skiing at 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, because it's glass.
It's just glass. And it's cooler water too, because you're closer to the dam. So
right.
Those summer days, it's my favorite part of the lake, because
of course,
when it's 100 degrees outside and you're baking, it's nice to jump into some cold water.
Yeah. Well, and I think what is important to think is a lot of people would say, man, you're all the way down here. You're almost on the lake. There's only one lake lot left. But the great thing about Steiner Ranch is you can have a boat. You can keep a boat, right? Probably somewhere in like whatever the restrictions will be. I know you don't know that yet, but if you build like a little garage for your boat, you have that access.
You'll be able to do that.
You'll have that access to go.
Fantastic.
Well, there you go. You can build it. But you'll be able to take your boat right there and drop it in the dock, which we all know Austin does not have Lake Austin does not have a lot of access points for you to load your boat into. So if you live, even though it says on your map 3 miles, you have to drive all the way around to get to the 360 bridge to load your
Which
boat.
is a nightmare.
Also, just look at midday 360 bridge, the parking with all the trailers. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. I just think it's a really great option if someone really loves being on the lake or has a boat and is on the lake all the time, instead of paying, I don't know what, $1,000 a month for more for a boat slip to keep, if you really are thinking about getting in a great school district, you love the lake living life, you love the trails. I mean, Steiner Ranch even has some of their own little sports organizations, like neighborhood
We have a
sports
swim team.
and swim team. And
Yeah.
like you said, there's multiple pools, multiple parks. There's a gas station, which everyone, I need you to know how important this is. There's a gas station halfway up Quinlan because, if
Has a
you're coming
great
down,
wine selection.
yeah,
Yes.
well, you come down
Really important.
to the lake and you want to fill up your boat.
Right.
You do not want to pay those lake prices to fill up your gas because it's so expensive. But it is really nice. I don't know how many times I was coming home and turned on Quinlan and realized I only had 30 miles left.
That's what I was going to say. You get home and it says, oh, I have 20 miles. Oh, I don't want to drive 15 minutes up the road. Oh, it's right there.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really nice. But yeah, so we're really excited about these lots that we're going to have
Very excited,
privately listed here with Engel and Volkers.
Yep. 3 of them are already sold, so
Yeah.
there's 12 left.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if people have want any more information on it, please reach out to Colton Turnquist or clearly come to our website, austin.evrealestate.com, and we can try to get you connected to the right person. But yeah, Steiner Ranch is a great place to live if you really, really are thinking about wanting to stay decently close to Austin, but kind of get your own community feel. And I guess you could also attest to this, Brandy, is I feel like there's a lot of people that are there for their kids, and then as they get older, they still stay there because they love the
do.
community.
It is such a great community.
Yeah, but I do think that Steiner Ranch is kind of, regentrifying with getting younger families back in there because you had a ton of young families and now a lot of them have grown.
That's typically how it is. Or you move within
Right.
different neighborhoods. You kind of upgrade and then maybe we'll move out. And yeah, it's just
It's a great
In and out,
community.
great community.
Yeah. Well, thank you both, Brandy and
Thank you.
Colton, for sitting here today and, kind of giving a community spotlight on Steiner Ranch. And everyone, hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for listening.
Hey, I'm Brandon Sparks with Nautilus Lending. We're a full-service mortgage lender and brokerage based right here in Austin, Texas, but serving not just Texas, Florida, and Tennessee as well. One of the things we're really, really good at is creative financing, and it doesn't matter whether you're a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor. We have loan programs to facilitate everything legally possible. You can find out more about us at www.nautilus-lending.com. That's www.nautilus-lending.com.